It's been a wild week in NFTs. We are seeing a dip in volume, but some new projects launching that are causing a lot of excitement and or controversy. Nothing on today's show is financial advice. Please do your own research when it comes to any buying and selling decisions. Like today's stream, that would be really great. If you could also subscribe to our channel, that would be fantastic. And most importantly, head to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT portfolio management needs. Dan, how are things over in the Netherlands? I know that you're deep in the World Cup right now. How are things going over there? I know you guys got the win yesterday. Good old US of A had a draw with Wales, which I don't know, any sport that ends in a tie, I just don't view it as much of a sport, but that's neither here nor there.
Fair, yeah. It's the group stage. If they get out of group stage, then it doesn't end in a tie, thankfully. But yeah, ties are pretty lackluster. I'm doing all right. I'm a little bit sick, so if I lose my voice at the end of the show, then I blame JWeb for this. I'm kidding.
You were just telling me that you were yelling at the games earlier. Don't blame me for anything.
It's my fault. I take full responsibility.
Sorry. The matches. I have to get my European football lingo. I gotta get my lingo correct, otherwise I'm gonna get made fun of. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. Yeah, so we got the win, the 2-0 over Senegal, and they played horrible, the Netherlands. So, but hey, at least they got the win. So I'm happy, I suppose.
Yeah, USA having the lead and losing the lead in the final 10 minutes of regulation before stoppage time really was just a buzzkill. And then we have it's Thanksgiving over here in the United States on Thursday, which is one of my favorite days of the year. Then Friday we play England, which I'm in some group chats with a bunch of Brits, and I really need the USA to pull off the huge upset. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to show my face in those group chats for a while. It's just going to be too painful.
Yeah, and Brits do love to shit talk, so.
God, and they can't do anything else but play football. Like, they can't win a war. They can't, govern. They can't do anything. They can't make good food outside of fish and chips. Like, there's really what even is the point of England right now? Like, what are they even doing? Like,
I guess McBess, right?
Their main thing is like a big clock. Like, so what? Who cares? They have a monarchy. Like, what is this? They come on, get out of here. But before I get canceled in the UK, let's go ahead and move into today's show. We have some interesting new projects to talk about. We have some big sales in the NFT space. Volume overall was pretty low this weekend, but we saw a huge sale today. 295 ETH spent on a Fidenza, which last I checked, ETH isn't down to $5 yet, so it's still a sizable amount of money. We've seen some big sales on Doodles, Bored Apes, Azukis, some of those higher tier projects still seeing volume. So what are you kind of looking at in the market right now, Dan, before we get into some of the new stuff?
Yeah, so the only project I've really kept my eyes on for like a few months, I don't know when I found it, but it's the Cel Mates from McBess. And they've done some pretty big collabs. They've worked with Clash of Clans. They've worked with Nike, some other big brands. So they are like an amazing artist that does like this, I don't even know what you would call it, like 50s or 60s, like cartoon art. But they draw it like IRL. They draw it with like a tattoo gun or something. It's like a gun, not a gun. It's like a pencil that goes like up and down. And it creates like a really cool effect. So they've recreated this effect like digitally, and made a whole project about it called Cel Mates. And I entered their raffle a long time ago, and I didn't end up winning. So they minted yesterday, and they're currently going for around 0.5 ETH. So I'm definitely keeping my eye out on that one.
Yeah, they minted out fast. They also recently were the artists behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club collab.
Yeah.
So they did a collab with BAYC where they did some T-shirts, jacket. They have their like clothing line called the Dudes. Yeah. So that's another thing that they're doing. And I believe holding one of the Cel Mates will also get you access to, limited runs and special editions of some of their apparel. I'm going to pull up their website because their website's pretty cool. You can kind of get a vibe for what Dan was talking about with the art style. I personally like it. We can look and we can see this is kind of the the storyline is that there are different, types of crimes that people, minted with their cellmates. So if we go in here, we can kind of see. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I'm going to try to turn that down a little bit here. We have different parts of the jail here, and once you have your cellmate, you're going to be able to see, different parts of it, go into different parts of it, and the Discord is going to be for holders only. So there should be some interesting stuff in there. But yeah, I agree. I think I'll pull up the collection on OpenSea, and you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about with the different types of crimes that they're doing.
Yeah, so the music you just heard, they have made that as well. So they're also a musician that is signed under a record label. I don't remember exactly the name of the record label, but yeah, so they do produce music as well. And it like that song you heard on their website has 10 million views on YouTube. So they're definitely like a sizable artist as well, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, so with the cellmates, you minted a random crime report. So there are 5 different types of crimes from these reports. There is buffoonery is the most common, then burglary, vandalism, blasphemy, and fraud. So I don't know what the different, I'm assuming the art is going to be a little bit different, on each one because there are different rarities. And, I don't know anything about the traits yet or how that looks, but I believe that in 1 week, you can start burning your crime report to get a revealed cellmate. And after that, I think it'll be sort of, like we've seen with other projects like the Ranga black boxes or the ape serums or CloneX mint vials where, you can keep them and then mint them whenever you want. So there is that deflationary aspect to it. Once again, not financial advice. I did pick up a few of these. I don't plan on minting mine right away. I'm going to keep an eye out. And if the price dips at all between now and the reveal, I'll probably try to get a few more and hold some longer term, because we saw that, over the last 3 months, one of the best plays you could have made was buying the Ranga black boxes when they were going from like 0.4 to 0.5 ETH, holding them, and they got up as high as like 4 or 5 ETH. So that was like a 10x opportunity right there. I'm not saying this is going to do the same thing by any means. One just went in for 0.488. Look at that. So I'm not saying that this is going to 10x by any means. Like, maybe it goes down, maybe it doubles, maybe it goes crazy. I don't know. But I like it. Kind of ticks some of the boxes for me. It's from an established person. They've put a lot of thought into it. It's not a crazy high supply. 4,200 is a pretty low supply in this market. And they have some cool stuff and some cool connections. So I think overall, I like this one. I like it a lot more than another big project minting that starts today, and that is Valhalla. There has been a lot of, red flags raised around this. Some of them are legitimate. Some of them I don't think are quite as legitimate. But, Dan, let's kind of get into Valhalla a bit, because that's been a hot topic in the NFT space.
Yeah, there were some red flags brought up by Twitter people, and some I didn't agree with. For example, I forgot who this was, but they said like there's like bots attacking me, and they all have one thing in common: they follow Valhalla, right? But in the video, it says Valhalla with 2 L's and then like Hala, right? And that's not their Twitter account. So the bots that are allegedly attacking them are following a fake Valhalla account. So I don't really see the connection in the post in the post they made in that regard. But regardless, there are a lot of red flags, including them, or I don't know, some project lead or CEO. I don't really know who said it, but someone, I would assume, jokingly said that if they need money, they can just rock the project, which is never really like a great thing to read.
Yeah, that was the CEO, Alex Lin. From my understanding, he confirmed that tweet or that text was real in a Discord Q&A today. So there was a big thread that dropped last night from a Twitter account called NFT Ethics. They've had a lot of big threads in the past. Their first one was about Beanie, who is a well-known and highly divisive NFT influencer. That one got a lot of traction. It gained them a lot of followers. Ever since then, They've put out a lot of tweet threads that have been, very suspect, not a whole lot of truth behind many of them. And I think it's kind of a boy who cried wolf situation now. But the Valhalla team did do a Discord Q&A to address the concerns raised from that. And the CEO did say that text was real. From my understanding, he didn't say whether or not it was a joke or anything like that, or just he was kind of joking around. I have no clue. And just for total transparency, I'm not minting this project today. I did not get on the allow list. I didn't even try, and I have no interest in trading it, but I feel like it is worth talking about because it is the biggest project mint we're probably going to see, this month. So yeah, there have been those red flags raised. This is a team that also raised $15 million, which is a very sizable raise to then have a public mint for 0.5 ETH. So there's starting today in about 40 minutes or so. Yeah, about 35 minutes. They're going to start the minting process. And some people are going to be able to mint for 0.35 and some for 0.5. I don't totally understand the difference there. And then tomorrow, there is going to be the rest of the mint also happening for 0.5. It's a 10,000 supply. 9,000 will be minted. The other 1,000 are going to be auctioned off one at a time, like one per day for 1,000 days, to raise more money, which I guess, is them trying to show that they're going to try to continue to add value to it so people will want to pay. I don't totally know. They've said something along the lines of marketplace, how there's been issues with marketplace creator fees and they want to have like a steady stream of income. I don't really get that objection because a lot of these marketplaces are enforcing creator royalties now. So there's some red flags there. Their goal of being the Twitch of Web3 doesn't make a ton of sense to me either. I mean, if Web3, first off, they're betting on multiple things, which is Web3 gaming taking off, which I think definitely could happen or it could not. And that if it does take off, Twitch isn't going to just quickly adapt to that and allow Web3 gaming on their platform, which if I had to bet who is going to better bring in Web3 gaming viewing on a streaming platform, Twitch, or some people who are brand new to this, I'd probably place my bet on Twitch.
And even better, I would place my bets on YouTube. They are going to collab with Polygon, I believe, today or tomorrow. They announced something. Some collab with Polygon. So, I mean, YouTube is already really, really big in streaming because they have, everyone tries to like attack, quote unquote, attack Twitch to take over some of their like market share. And YouTube so far is the only platform that has really succeeded in doing that. What they did was they would approach large streamers and approach their friend group and then offer them money to join their platform or contracts that they were significantly more paying than Twitch was. And the whole friend group comes to YouTube, and then all of their viewers, they come to YouTube as well, because if someone isn't online, they at least have someone else to go to. So I think if Web3 gaming does take off, I think Twitch will be left in the dirt and they'll just flock to YouTube instead. And I don't really know what Valhalla is going to do about all this.
Yeah, that is why it is, if you got on the allow list, I think you mint this thing and you try to quickly flip it and you take the free ETH and you just kind of move on with your life. That would be what I would do. Once again, that's not financial advice. Please do what you think is best. But I just don't see, I think your probability of this being something that goes to 5, 10, 25 ETH is pretty low, especially when they have VC funding. Their fiduciary responsibility is to their investors first and foremost. And the NFT is purely a collectible. So even if their site does succeed, as of now, there's a very high, a decent likelihood that the site could succeed.
Yeah.
While at the same time, the NFT is not being, extremely valuable. So I think all of that combined, it just doesn't make sense as a long-term hold.
Yeah, and I agree. And there's still like risk involved, right? Like not only for the project themselves, but they are banking on the fact, they're banking on the idea that Web3 gaming is going to succeed in the first place, which that's not a certainty, No. That's not a given. We don't know how it's going to go. I think it's going to be good, like the Web3 gaming industry, but I don't know for sure, right? I just think that's going to happen. But I think it's risky to build your entire business on that idea. It's risky.
Yeah, I mean, you and I can see the value in Web3 for gaming as far as, ownership of assets
Hmm.
and, play to earn, but also a ton of gamers hate NFTs and they do not like Web3
Yeah.
and they don't care about play to earn. They want games to be fun. So there's a very real possibility that none of this takes off. Like I would say maybe it's more likely than not
Yeah.
that none of this takes off, that gamers out there do not care about Web3. They never will care about Web3. They don't want to transact on it. They don't want to switch. Like getting people to switch from Twitch to this other random platform seems like a very low likelihood. So, I think overall it's a pass. In the words of the great Randy Jackson, it's a pass for me, dog. So we can move on. You like that one, Dan? Do you like
I
that?
like it. Yeah. I've heard that quote like a lot. I have no clue who it came from, so I like it.
One of the great minds of our time, Randy Jackson. So let's go into another upcoming project, and that is from Tim Ferriss. You may know him as the writer of the 4 Hour Work Week. He's beloved in the entrepreneur community, in the crypto community, just overall very popular podcast. He has been kind of quietly in the background of the NFT space for a while, collecting. He's been an advisor, I believe, on Potatoes, our beloved Potatoes. I still haven't pulled the trigger on one yet.
Oh.
I need to do that. Maybe I'll buy my wife a potato as a Christmas present. I know that she was a big fan of the French fries, so I might have to pick her up a French fry. But anyway, he is launching an NFT project called Cockpunch, and this is what the Cockpunch NFTs are going to look like. Let me bring up their Twitter page. It is a bunch of chickens. So they're roosters. So get your head out of the gutter if you were thinking something else. Thank you very much. So this is the legend of Cockpunch. It's a fictional world built for our chaotic times. One thing I like about it is that all primary sales are going to a foundation that helps promote advancements in technology for the environment and things like that. So I think that's really cool. So Tim Ferriss has stated that he's very excited about this project, but at the same time he's not going to really deal. And I think this is his experience watching the NFT space is he's seen how collectors treat founders and how they are just constantly going on and on about the floor price and this and that. And he's it basically sounds like he's not going to put up with any of that bullshit is what the vibe I'm getting is. Like he will block people from his own community if they're nagging him constantly about the floor, because he's not really promising anything with this as far as like crazy utility goes. So I think that's an interesting approach to take to it. I'm not going to say that it could be a slow rug from that standpoint, but he's just not going to put up with a lot of the BS that NFT collectors tend to dish out toward project leads.
Yeah, I don't think they should. Like I think it's perfectly valid to ban someone from your Discord server if they're constantly like flooding the project. Like if every day they come in and the only thing they say is like, wow, Cockpunch is still doing horrible. That's crazy. Cockpunch is so bad, Like like why are you here, are they on Ethereum?
I believe so. I don't think there is I haven't seen a minting date yet. And I don't even know if it's going to be like there was a link for pre-mint.
Yeah.
Where you could win a spot on there through like a raffle. But other than that, I don't know a ton about the launch. I think that the details are yet to be seen there. So just something that I'm keeping an eye on. I like Tim Ferriss. I think he's a sharp guy. I wouldn't mind getting in on this early if possible, but I'm not going to go out my way or pay a crazy amount of money right now. Like right now, NFT space is about conservation of capital, finding those teams that you think are building something cool and being able to stick it out for the long run. Because I think otherwise, if you try to chase every single project right now, it could be a long bear market for you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely pick your battles. I think that going after people with a good history is a good idea. Personally, I might pick up a few of the Cel Mates from McBess as well. You already front run me by a little bit, it seems, which is good. Which is good. It means we think on the same line, which is good, I suppose. It helps validates my take. Yeah, I mean, I wonder how that project's gonna go. I think that the odds of like a McBess piece going down is like lower than some of their counterparts in the industry. People with a real name is usually a good bet. It doesn't
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't
right
make it
now,
rep proof, but
no, not at all. Right now it's got about 50% unique ownership, which I'd like to see that number go up. About 8% listed, which is still pretty good.
high. It's pretty high, actually.
And yeah, I would like to see that number trend down. One thing I'm interested to see is with Valhalla launching, so there's still a ton of attention on that. Could McBess Crime Reports be a place that people take their profit from Valhalla and maybe move into one or two of those, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if Valhalla on secondary is going for 1 to 2 ETH.
Yeah.
And if people take that and see like, hey, I'm going to buy one of these crime reports with the half ETH profit, I have no clue. That is no way factoring in to my decision to buy crime reports. Any additional ones that I might get. Like, I'm kind of interested. I was able to get one of the fraud ones, which is like the rarest of them.
Yeah.
For around floor yesterday. So I think right now I have like the vandalism and the fraud, and I wouldn't mind having one of each.
That'd be cool.
Just to kind of see how that plays out. But that would require me. I've been taking money out of NFTs over the last 3 months, and moving my ETH profits to cold storage, and I have no intention of moving those profits back into NFTs. So that would require me to sell some other things right now, to get more liquid. So we'll have to see if I'm able to pull something off there.
Yeah, so we don't really know the difference yet with the different crime reports, right? Other than the fact that the fraud is like just like the lowest one in terms of like amount.
Yeah, and it's not by like a substantial amount.
Yeah,
like
it's like
the
a small
buffoonery is there's 930 of those. The fraud, which is the rarest, there's 746. So it's not like there's only 50 of them or anything like that. Like it's pretty evenly distributed.
Yeah.
So gotcha. Anything else we want to discuss today before we head out?
Did you talk about the Fidenza sale?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that at the top. 295 ETH Fidenza sale. We've talked about this for a long time, I think before most other shows, but I'm excited to see this final month of the rapture from Dmitry Cherniak. We want to talk fine art for a minute, because as of right now, it's still looking like there's still just the 50 supply, and as assuming that no one transfers, lists, or accepts an offer on it, that's probably all they're ever going to be. I don't think many people know about them. There's only a 2 wrapped ETH offer on it. Yep. And, I'm interested to kind of see if it stays this way. And if it does, what do these items get listed for here in December? I don't know exactly when the last one minted. I don't know if he goes like the 12 months, if that goes from the date of the first or the final one minted, but it looks like December 15th, 2021 at 6:10 p.m. UTC was when the first one was minted. Let me find the last one real quick. I would love to get Dimitri. No, I would love to get Dimitri on the show.
Yeah.
And hear from and get to talk to him. That'd be really, really cool.
Definitely. And I mentioned this before. I still think that the Rapture has the possibility to be the most expensive art blocks NFT.
If there's only 50 of them, I completely agree. Let's see. NorCal guy minted the final one. So that was at 7:52 p.m. UTC on December 15th.
Is that the same day?
Yeah, just like an hour and a half later.
Okay. I would assume just
So we'll just assume.
they're probably gonna go off the last minute, right?
So me being the ignorant American,
Oh no.
what are you UTC? What's your? I'm just going off of time. Like I'm trying to figure out time zones here because I want to know exactly when in my time zone this is going to be done. What is your time zone as far as like UTC plus whatever?
Good question. You're putting me on the spot. I have to check real quick. I think.
Oh, so I'm not okay. So we have
I'm
an
one
ignorant
above
American
it.
and
Yeah.
an ignorant Dutchman here.
There you go. My time in UTC. I think it's like. Okay, I'm +1. So right now it's 9:37 p.m. UTC for me. I mean 7:37 UTC.
So that means on December 15th, the 12 months of the rapture should be completed at 8:52 and 40 seconds p.m. your time.
Yeah, sounds good. It's like it's a normal human time, I'd say. Not like 2 a.m. EU time.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're listed at and what the first one sells at.
How much were they minted for? Like a couple ETH?
Let me pull. I got Etherscan up. They were 2 ETH.
I think that the first one will sell for 200, and that's like a quick sell.
Interesting.
That's
okay.
my estimate.
Yeah, his ringers right now, the floor is 65, and there's 1,000 of those.
Yeah, so I think someone's gonna be like, well, I guess I'll list for 200, and then it's gonna be sniped instantly, and then the next one is gonna be like way, way, way higher. That's my bet, at least. That's my bet, or like my intuition speaking.
Okay, I dig it. Yeah, I really want to get him on and talk to him because we've been following this project closer. I listen to a ton of NFT content. You and I have been following this project closer than anybody. Like, I really want to talk to him. Like, I would love to get him on live when the 12 months is over and like
imagine.
kind of do
live
it
reaction.
on stream. Yeah, get live reaction to the first listings and the like first activity. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really cool.
I'm gonna reach out to him. Let's see if we can do this.
Yeah, imagine if someone thinks so. Let's say they get like they stick to 50 when going off of the last minute time, and then there's someone that thinks it's gonna go off first listed time, and then they just end up listing it, and then all hell breaks loose.
Oh God, I have to imagine that the people doing this are gonna be. I wonder if there's like a Discord where they're all in communication, or like a Slack chat or a Telegram or anything. Because I have to imagine that with how small of a community it is, like these are people who held, what was it, Eternal Pumps, one of his other projects.
Yeah.
That had the chance to mint these. So I have to imagine that these are all, the Eternal Pump. Okay, so the Eternal Pump floor is 275. So, and I'm of those, there's 50 of those, only 2 listed for sale. The last one sold 5 months ago for 215 wrapped ETH. Holy shit. One is sold for 450 back in October of last year. My God.
I would assume that was bought to mint the Rapture, right?
I guess. And then the person who bought that one, so the person who paid 450, oh God. All right, this is going to be ugly. Give me a second here, Dan. So somebody on October 9th purchased one for 450 ETH. At that time,
4K
ETH was, maybe 3,500. So they paid 35.76 per ETH times 450 ETH. So they spent 1.6 million on that Eternal Pump. They then turned around and sold. That was the same one that sold 5 months ago. So Dan, remember 1.6 million. Let's see how big of a loss they took here. They sold it. Oh, when ETH was $994.
994?
Yeah. So they took a That was on that was June 18th.
Jeez.
So they bought it for 1.6 million and sold it for $213,000.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Woo! Oh my god.
Everything's breaking.
That like hurts. Like
Yeah.
my stomach hurts just thinking about that.
And you know that they were looking at the ETH chart. They saw it going down because I think it went from like 1,200 to 900 something in a single day, and everyone was like, "Yeah, hey, ETH is dead," you know. And it didn't take too long for ETH to go back from 900 to like 1,600. You know, they sold
God,
at
who did?
peak bottom. That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't. Oh my god. I'm looking through this person's collection of other things that they have. Wow. That's wild. That is wild.
Not advised to buy at the top and sell at the bottom. I would do it the other way around if I had the choice.
Man. Wow. Okay. Is this person on Twitter? Because I kind of want to tweet about this. I don't want to tag them in it. I don't want to like make someone feel bad, but that's crazy.
They're like, I don't want to be reminded of this again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. I was not expecting to discover that today. So, there you have it.
The more you know.
If you're still watching at this point and you've been, enjoying Dan and I's ramblings, please go ahead and like today's show, subscribe to our channel, and head to FLOLiO.com. See how we brought that full circle, Dan?
There you go.
Full circle. And my voice cracked like a pubescent boy right there. That was cute. I think that is going to wrap it for today.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Dan, any final words?
I would just like to point out that we've been talking about the rapture, and then you mentioned this is a rap, so I found that pretty funny.
I mean, listen, we're not the best in the business for nothing, Dan, okay?
There you go. Exactly.
All right. Well, if you are in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy some time with your family. Don't get too drunk and spend all your money on NFTs that night. Make sure that you get Christmas presents for your kids before you do that. So for Dan, for the rest of the team at FLOLiO, I am Jeremy. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.